Imagine a punch so precise it doesn't just break bones. It shifts the tectonic plates of a multi-billion-dollar industry. That is the power of Dmitry Bivol, the undisputed light heavyweight king. Most people think they know who Bival is. They see the disciplined technician, the surgical jab, and the flawless footwork. But the truth is, the world has only seen the surface. While the public is focused on the fighter, Bival has been quietly building something far more calculated. As of 2026, his net worth is estimated at over $20 million. And that empire doesn't just exist on paper, it moves. Through the streets of St. Petersburg, behind the wheel of his Mercedes-Benz S-Class, a silent reminder that this is no longer just a fighter, it's a brand in motion. In this video, we are going inside the empire he commands, the high-stakes deals, the luxury assets, and a heavy price paid for total dominance. The gold belts and the prestige are merely the shimmering surface of a story defined by extreme, gravity-defying highs and a quiet, internal focus. Before we step inside the empire, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because this is where the Real story begins. His journey began far from the bright lights. Born in Tokmak, Kyrgyzstan, on December 18, 1990. A man whose heritage is a complex weave of a Moldavian SSR father and an ethnic Korean mother from the Kazakh SSR. This multicultural identity provided him with a unique, adaptable perspective long before he ever wore professional gold. He found his true home in St. Petersburg at the age of 11. And it was in those gritty, uncompromising Russian gyms that a prodigy was truly forged. In these halls, repetition wasn't a chore, it was a religion, and learning to anticipate an opponent's move before they even made the decision to throw it. With a staggering amateur record of 268-15, Bival didn't just accumulate wins. He built a foundation of technical mastery that would eventually haunt the greatest names in the sport. By the time he turned professional in 2014, the boxing world was about to meet a methodical nightmare. His professional ascent wasn't a slow burn. It was a clinical demolition. His first 6 opponents never saw the final bell, but it was the 2018 battle against Sullivan Barrera that truly signaled the arrival of a champion who could adapt under absolute duress. When head clashes opened cuts on his face, he simply adjusted, analyzing the new tactical landscape before stopping him with a precise, clinical right hand. He was no longer just a talented prospect. He was a clinical executioner of rhythm. That rhythm eventually led him to the DAZN era and the fight that changed the sport's hierarchy forever. On May 7th, 2022, Canelo Alvarez, the pound-for-pound king, stepped into the ring expecting a coronation, but Bival gave him a masterclass. Using a crisp, relentless jab and flawless lateral footwork, he turned the arena into a classroom, proving that in the ring, precision beats power every single time. It wasn't just a win. It was an eviction of the aura that Canelo had built for years. History is rarely a straight line, and the boxing world eventually clamored for a unification against the terrifying Artur Beterbiev, a man whose raw power had left a trail of broken spirits across the division. When they finally met in October 2024, it was the ultimate clash of ideologies. Bival became the first man to take Beterbiev the full 12 rounds. But the judges saw a razor-thin victory for the Russian powerhouse. Most fighters would have faded under that disappointment, their confidence shattered by the judges' cards. But Bival chose to recalibrate. He viewed the loss not as an end, but as data, information to be analyzed and mastered. After a successful appeal by his team, the stage was set for an immediate rematch on February 22, 2025. This wasn't just a fight. It was a rewrite of destiny. Bival stepped into the ring with unprecedented precision, dictating every second of the pace, neutralizing the power that had terrified the division, and showcasing a tactical brilliance that will be studied for decades. When the final bell rang, the announcement solidified his legend. Dmitry Bivol, the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, proving that when the stakes are at their highest, his mind is his most lethal weapon. On May 30th, 2026, he stepped into the ring against the hungry, high-volume challenger Michael Eifert. The fight served as a stark reminder of Bival's chess master moniker. While Eifert arrived with the aggressive intent of an underdog, Bival turned the contest into a clinical display of distance management and timing. He didn't just win, he successfully defended his unified WBA and IBF light heavyweight titles, proving that even after the most grueling wars of his career, his foundation remained absolutely unshakable. Beyond the bright lights and the violence of the canvas, the story of Bival is one of profound stability and deep-rooted family values. His life is anchored by his partnership with his wife, Ekaterina. Their story is a testament to the idea that true success is found in those who knew you before the world began to watch. They met in August 2007 on a flight from St. Petersburg to Adler, where Dmitry, then just a young athlete with a dream, asked for her phone number. It was a simple, fateful moment that eventually led to their marriage on July 13, 2013. Just as Dmitry was beginning his arduous transition from the elite amateur ranks to the professional world. Together, they have built a life in St. Petersburg centered on their two sons. Ekaterina manages the vibrant life of their family at home, ensuring that for the undisputed champion, the real victory is always found in the quiet, supportive embrace of those who kept him grounded long before the belts and the accolades. Today, Bival lives a disciplined yet luxurious lifestyle, balancing his image as the undisputed champion with a clear preference for understated wealth. His net worth is estimated around $20 million, and he resides in a modern mansion in Russia, a sanctuary designed for absolute privacy and family life. Spacious, functional interiors that prioritize a state-of-the-art gym, medical-grade recovery facilities, and calm entertainment spaces over ostentatious design. It is a home built for the mindset of an athlete who treats every day as a tactical preparation, where the quiet is just as important as the training. His garage tells the same story, a rejection of the flamboyant, hypercar-obsessed culture of modern boxing in favor of reliability and executive presence. You won't find a gaudy, million-dollar hypercar here. Instead, his driveway is anchored by the quiet authority of a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, a flagship sedan that prioritizes comfort and prestige for his daily driving. It sits alongside the Range Rover Sport, a practical, high-performance SUV that perfectly balances family practicality with the versatility needed for his frequent travel. When he does opt for speed, it's rarely for a permanent flex. He's been spotted in the precision of a Porsche 911 Carrera or the hybrid innovation of a BMW i8, though these are treated as tools for specific appearances rather than centerpieces of an ego. His legacy in 2026 is defined by his undisputed light heavyweight reign, his rivalry with Artur Beterbiev, and his disciplined, controversy-free image. He has not pursued flashy business empires like Mayweather or Canelo, instead focusing on boxing, endorsements, and family life. Unlike other boxers, Bival has kept his business profile modest, focusing on endorsements with brands like Nike, Everlast, Monster Energy, and Hublet rather than pursuing real estate or nightclub empires. His philanthropy is equally consistent and humble. It is not known for large-scale global campaigns, but focuses on youth boxing clinics, funding training camps, and supporting grassroots sports development in Russia, reflecting his family values and passion for youth mentorship. He is Dmitry Bivol, the undisputed king. He is the reminder that in a world of noise and chaos, the most powerful man is often the one who remains the quietest, calculating his next move with the grace of a surgeon. He didn't just beat the world with his fists, he dismantled it with his mind. If you found this story of tactical brilliance and resilience compelling, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Check out our deep dive into the heavyweight legends next. We'll see you ringside.